I think one of these Miami players might get dropped. LA Thieves have just beat Miami Heretics 3-1. It was, how do I put it? It felt closer than it actually was. At times, it felt like a really close game. The overload went the way of Miami. Um, they had a massive lead on map 4, LA Thieves, and they kind of let Miami back into it. Other than the map 1, be even for the most part, but it didn't feel like it. Map 1 was a blow. I guess Miami, they don't have a good feel of sake. I think they just kind of felt lost on the other the two new maps in the map set. Start to Fringe, they just felt like they didn't know what to do. When A bomb was planted, which is, look, I was listening to Octane earlier today, and he was saying that Miami haven't got great reps. They started late and they haven't been good. So that could be the reasoning behind it. But you want to see a stronger performance from Miami. But I think LAT were really good. I'm loving the new meta. I think an SMG favorite meta is always better to watch than an AR meta, an AR favorite meta. Just more entertaining, quicker. But yeah, I think the meta actually suits LATL. To be honest, I think Hydra and Abizi, two great players. When they're given a good weapon, kind of see the difference. But I think there's a bit of concern to be had with Miami, especially after they just signed Real. Like, he's going to be waiting for his opportunity to come in. And it's hard because I think Rencor and Super were probably the worst too in that series today. I think their playstyles can be they're very baity, and I don't think it's going to work in this meta. I think you need to back up your SMGs. I don't think you can bait them for kills yourselves. I think you need to allow your SMGs to flourish. You need to almost sacrifice yourself for them at certain points, which I don't know if them two can do. The two new maps, Sake and Fringe, I think they were really good. I actually liked Fringe a lot. I mean, I liked the back on BO3. I didn't know how it was going to play here today, but I liked it, and I'm sure we'll see more and more set plays come into it. The more it's played. And I think Sake was really good. Gridlock earlier in the day, with Gentlemates and where they play Ravens. I think that was good as well. Like Gridlock. I do like the all changes around for Major Tree. They're very fun. I just love new maps in general. It's refreshing to watch. We don't have to watch Den Hardpoint, Den Surge, Den Overload. But yeah, I think it's good. It's freshening up. But I think one of these Miami players might get dropped if this performance keeps up. Because you don't sign Real for no reason. You know what I mean? You don't sign him to keep him there. You sign him because even if someone performs badly, boom, he's in. He's gonna be knocking on the door, like straight up. He's gonna be knocking on. It's in my mind, the scapegoat will be Metals, and I don't think Metals is the person that should be dropped, in my opinion. I think Metals is the only one keeping that team together. To be honest, I think if Real goes in instead of Metals, I think you could see that team just collapse. There's no voice of reason. There's no. I think every other player is. I'm not too sure about Trakes. I think Trakes can be kind of like Metals. But Super and Rancor are very selfish type players. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't have multiple of them on the same team. I think adding Real will be adding another kind of that stereotype of player. So I think it's going to be hard for Miami coming out of this. They're going to have to do some work, and if what Octane said was true, they've had very little scrims, and the scrims they've had haven't been great. But I don't expect them to be great on the new maps. I think they have work to do in the new map. Hopefully, they can get back up there because I think a strong Miami, strong Spanish team is always good for the league. adds more fans to watch games. That's what you want. That's what they'll want. That's more viewership. So I think they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot more to get through. But I think on the LAT side, they look good. Um, I think if a stronger Miami came out today, maybe I think LAT would still won. I think if that was regular Miami, I think LAT might have still won. I think there are a lot of times they're ahead and they let Miami back into the game. On another day, LAT could trio them. They were up in the overload. They shouldn't have even lost the overload really if they played perfect, which of course nobody can do. No such thing as perfect. You just try to get as close to it as possible. But I think they definitely look better. I think the SMG meta helps them a lot, as I said. Scrap looked good. Neum's a tough one. I don't think you take Neum out. Doesn't on the scoreboard he doesn't look up to par with the other three, but it is very hard to be up to par with the other three. That's the kind of thing you have to remember. Not every player is Scrap at Easy Hydra. So maybe Neum is, maybe he's got great communication. That could be it. But of course, it's on the eye. He's not up to par with the other three, but I can't hold that against him. Not a lot of players are. So yeah, I think it's only up for LAT with this meta. As long as they don't G8, which, pros these days, it could be G8. Even though I don't see why. I think just adapt. Just if it's not your meta, make it your meta. Be better. Get paid lots of money to do it. Just be better. So yeah, going on to tomorrow and next week. We've got some good games. Hope to see more of the maps. Hope to see Plaza. Will we see Yemen? Probably not. But that is all for today. I thought LAT looked good. Miami, bit of work to do. Real sitting on the outside. Will he be getting a spot? We'll find out soon. Goodbye.